Hello again, my friend. It's Todd Cetnar, your mental performance coach, and welcome back to the 3 Pillars of Elite Results short form daily podcast. Wait a minute. Sorry, can you repeat that again? I didn't hear it. What did you say? How many times have you said that before? I'm assuming a lot. Do you know why? Because you're a shitty listener. Most of us are, because we don't train our ability to listen and level up that skill set. Hey, look, the problem with most people is that we listen with the intent to respond. Has that ever happened to you? Somebody will say something to you and you'll hear something that triggers you to say something back. What do? A, you dwell on that until they're done speaking so you don't hear the rest of the conversation. Or B, you interrupt them to start talking about the issue that you have with what they said before. Well, what happens then? You open up a can of worms on a topic that wasn't even the premise of the actual conversation. Now you're just going in circles. This is what happens all the time. Well, let me give you a technique to A, level up your listening skills, and B, it's going to throw off some charisma because you're going to be doing something that probably most people aren't doing. It's called the ladder technique. Ladder is an acronym, LADDER. The first L, well, the only L, stands for look the person in the eye. When you are listening to people and you are engaging with them, have eye contact. Have really great eye contact. This is something that Truett Cathy talked about all the time, the founder and CEO of Chick-fil-A. Whenever you walk into a Chick-fil-A, the first thing you should be greeted with is a smile, a friendly tone, and eye contact. It's super important to be looking the person in the eye to show them they have your full attention. Number 2 is ask questions. The A, ask questions. Open-ended questions. When somebody is talking to you, make sure you show engagement. There's an old saying, if you want to be interesting, be interested. You do that by asking questions. Show that you care. Show that you're locked in and present with what they're talking about. The first D for ladder is don't interrupt. Don't interrupt. Or even worse, don't one-up. Okay, so 1 is if they're talking, let them finish, allow there to be space, allow there to be a pause, and then you can enter into the response, number 1. The second thing is, listen, don't one-up people. Hey, I went on this vacation and it was so cool. We rented a boat and a jet skis and that's their fun. Let them have their light. Don't interrupt them by going, yeah. No, we did that last year as well. And we had a pontoon boat and 2 jet skis. That's one-upping people. Nobody likes to do that. The second thing is this, don't change the subject. The second D for ladder. If somebody is talking to you and confiding in you to listen to their story or what's going on in their life, when they get to a pause, don't change the subject on them, whether it's putting the light back on you like we just talked about or changing the subject in its entirety. Don't do that. That is a problem because what happens is you are taking what is maybe something they're coming to you that could be they're hurting or they're upset about something and you're completely disregarding it and turning it to another subject. Make sure you stay on the subject until you feel it's appropriate, that topic of conversation is over, and then you can move on to something else. Now, the E is empathize or having empathy. This works particularly well if someone is struggling. So in the conversation, they're going through a pain point or an issue. It's important to empathize by saying, hey, look, I understand where you're coming from. I can see your point of view. I would be upset if I were in your shoes as well. When you get yourself into where they're feeling this pain and they can feel that you can see them eye to eye, it makes them understand that you get them in that moment. It's really important to empathize. There will be a time when you can offer some solutions, but in the moment, make sure you get to a place where you feel they're at. And then finally, the R in ladder is respond both verbally and non-verbally. It's not enough to just respond verbally. When you're sitting there listening, have the right body language. Stay present, nod, smile, put a hand on a shoulder. Whatever it is, stay engaged non-verbally. Oftentimes, we forget about that. And non-verbal actually is 75% of communication in general. Now, to put a bow on this episode, I'm going to give you a pro tip to take your listening skills yet to another level beyond the ladder technique. It's called the 3H technique. When you are in conversation with somebody and they're really struggling, you can use the 3H technique. At the end of the conversation, or sometimes at the beginning, you can ask them, hey, are you looking to be heard, helped, or hugged? And what I mean by that is sometimes people just want to vent. They just want to be heard. Or sometimes people are looking for a solution. They want to be helped. And oftentimes people just need physical touch, part of the 5 love languages. They just need a pat on the back or a quick hug to say, you know what? Hey, everything is going to be okay. And I'm going to be right here by your side. Anything you need, I'll support you. So now you have the ladder technique and the 3H technique. 2 ways to increase and elevate your listening skills to another level. Rewind this podcast as needed, master these 2 techniques, and you will be doing things that only the 1% of the population are doing, and it'll be super unique to the people you talk to. Today is up to you. Take inspired action, and don't count the days, make the days count.